Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Awareness of science and technology among young people in the country is the way to go. Madam Elizabeth asserted that science and technology is very important future and vice versa. She believes that science and technology will help to bridge the gap between the past and the future. Furthermore, she encouraged parents to visit STEM center with their kids so that it will be inculcated in them. According to her, Ghana Museum of Science and Technology was carefully designed to meet the demand for practical scientific learning, among others. Ghana Museum of Science and Technology was carefully designed to meet the demands of practical scientific learning, among others.
It's magical.
Science and technology is very, very important for our future. Also, the future is very, very important for science and technology. The Museum of Science and Technology is the best place we can bridge the gap between the past and the future. And here in the Museum of Science and Technology, we have thrown more light, bridging the gap upon our past and our present with modernity. This is the Human Anatomy section of the Museum of Science and Technology. Here we have pictures, we have models of science objects, and the Human Anatomy section, what is within us, and then real objects, real organs that have been preserved. This is a cross-section of how food enters our body and where it ends. We can say this is Kojo menu. Kojo menu, it has fufu, rice soup, and coconut and goat soup. Kojo menu eats his fufu with rice soup and goat meat. Once he does that, as he chews the goat meat, the salivary glands would secrete saliva to masticate and then break down the meat. It will then pass through his pharynx, pass through his esophagus, then into his stomach. Inside the stomach, there will be a chemical breakdown of the food he has eaten through enzymes, through acid, and then through mechanical processing. Then, once the breaking down is done in the stomach, the food now moves into the small intestine. In the small intestine, there is a further digestion which goes on. We have the enzymatic digestion, and then in the small intestine that have been gotten from the food. So this one is the small intestine. It has been enlarged for us to see its parts, and then this one as well is the large intestine, and it has been enlarged for us to see its parts. We also have blood flow through the human circulatory system. This one enables us to know that blood flows through every part of our body, from the front of our head to the down sole of our feet. And this portion signifies our wrist, our knee, and our legs. This one is called viscera. Viscera is a model of the human being. We have parts covered with skin, and parts is not covered with skin. The viscera enables us to know that assuming you and I, we were not covered with skin, like you would have been seeing our bones, you would have been seeing blood oozing out of every part of our being. We also have our brain, showing our cerebrum, our motor cortex, sensory cortex, cerebellum, and medulla oblongata system. This is a model of the circulatory system. This one shows that once you block it and you step on it, you breathe in, the oxygen moves through the left side, which is the pulmonary veins. Once it moves through the lungs, through the pulmonary veins, and now mixes with the blood called oxygenated blood. The oxygenated blood now moves through every part of our body, and it is replaced by the deoxygenated blood, which now comes back to the right side of the lungs and then passes through the lungs as carbon dioxide when it is exhaled. We also have our kidneys. Our blood passes through our kidney about 40 times a day. Each time the blood passes through the kidney, the kidney filters the blood and then removes toxins out of the blood. The watery toxins are removed from the kidney, and then the watery toxins now accumulates in the bladder, which we pass out as urine. We also have a model of our kidney here. Looking at the model of the kidney, we also have our real human kidney, which have been preserved. So this sits at our lower back. It will interest you to know that the kidney also balances certain nutrients in our body, like the calcium, potassium, and then sodium. We also have our heart. The size of our heart is like the fist of our hand. And so the size of my hand, the size of the fist of my hand will be the size of my heart. This heart we have the GBC camera. We are privileged to have one of the GBC camera. When students see this, it entices them to go into journalism because they see how amazing and how its use have been in the past years. We are also privileged to have the NACTI camera that was used in the olden days at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Now, from the old camera section, we can also talk about one of the modern cameras together with the studio. This is a current studio with modern cameras. And so, as we can see, if any students want to go into journalism and cannot come to the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, right here in the museum, the child can be encouraged to become a journalist with the journalism section. We also have this as a film projector. The film projector was used in the olden days in cinemas to project films on our walls, and the film was poured around the blue and the ash parts. We also have the lens down there. So later on, it was replaced in 1973 with a Sony LCD projector, and even homes, families could also enjoy movies using the Sony LCD projector. Later on, 1950s, we had the slide projector. The slide projector is used to watch only pictures. In those days, there was nothing like watching pictures with phones because our phones were not upgraded. And so, the slide projector loads pictures and it projected on a screen or on a wall. Families, events, users had to enjoy themselves. So, we also had the Audis slide projector in the later years. It is working and it's a little modern. We also have the Master Voice projector. The Master Voice projector looks like a sewing machine. So here we also have the TV section. So with the TV section, we have the Ghana Sanyo TV. We have the Ghana Sanyo TV. We have the Ghana Sanyo TV. And these are all televisions that were assembled in Ghana after the parts were made. After the parts were made in Japan. We were using the thermionic valves in those days. The thermionic valves, you can talk about the triode and the diodes. These are the diodes. The diode, we can see it behind the television. The contemplation was to turn electric current into sound and sound into electric current. So later in the 1950s, transistors were made. So while transistors were made, later on in our recent years, integrated circuits are being used in our television and in our radio. The integrated circuits have a lot of biochips, and the biochips is what we now use in our flat screen TVs, and our radios, and all that. We also have a black and white television. The black and white television give pictures of black and white. And then we also have wooden speaker. You know, during our forefathers' era, there was nothing like a proper speaker system. So it is the wooden speaker they were using to enjoy themselves during large family gatherings. We also have the Akasanuma radio. The Akasanuma radio was made in Ghana in Tama in 1960. The Akasanma radio does not have any special feature like speaker or cassette player, but later on we imported the Hitachi, which have speakers and cassette players. It will interest you to know that we have even a gramophone in the Science Museum. The gramophone have a big CD player and a part that can be worn. The gramophone does not use electricity. Once you begin to wind its handle, it will be rotating. As it is rotating, the head touches the CD player and the music begins to play. So anywhere you are, with or without electricity, you can still enjoy yourself with some music with the gramophone. We also have the turntable and the hi-fi. It is an improved version of the gramophone using electricity. So for that one, you just have to plug it to your electricity on it. Your big CD would be rotating on it, and as the head catches the CD. We also have DVD players known as our Piamoncos. Oh, in those days, how we used to enjoy this video cassette with our colored TV, and so the setup was always like this. Our great grandmother, Auntie Akosia's radio. She says, my favorite Grande radio. Oh, she uses to enjoy herself. These are the parts. She will on it at the side. She will put her wonderful kitchen set by the side with her black and white television, and also have a large CD player component. We can also talk about the concave mirror. And so, the concave mirror is used in cars. Even now, we can demonstrate. We can just put one leg within and see how it can magnify you. So this is the Fresnel lens. The Fresnel lens is used to launch objects into space and in the marine. This is because it can magnify objects. So I'm Elizabeth Shotogo, an assistant creator in Museum of Science and Technology.
Thank you for watching Nation One TV. Kindly subscribe for more news updates.